Welcome to video number 8 of the restoration of the fuselage on this Piper Pacer. So obviously I'm already done. I just finished up putting the last piece of fabric on before I start shrinking and fabric and also then putting all the tapes on. And I'm kind of struggling on how to do this video because I looked at all the footage I took and it would be a super long video if I show all the details that I recorded. And I'm using the Stewart system, so if someone else is using a different system, it would be a little bit different anyway. So I'm gonna do maybe just some highlights, starting off with just how you work with the Stewart system as far as the gluing, and then I just show some of the specifics that gave me a little bit of a headache when I put this on, because I used an envelope, and maybe next time I would use the blanket method, because it's just, I think it's just a little bit easier to manipulate smaller pieces of fabric versus doing the whole envelope, because you pull on one end and another end moves. So that was a little bit frustrating at times. And then also doing something like this step here, you will see in the video, that gave me a really headache because of some dimensional problems in the envelope, I guess. So anyway, so enjoy the video. It's I try to keep it short, within like 20 minutes each. So that's why I'm just going to show the highlights. And there's plenty of videos online, especially by Stewart systems, how to use the Stewart system to cover a wing or fuselage. So I show a little bit more specific just about covering the PA-22. And the time has finally come to put new fabric on the fuselage. So I started yesterday, but I didn't bring my camera yesterday. So I finished putting the new rudder cable in. Here it is. So I received that day before yesterday, so it was time to put it in. And then I took a piece of fabric, and for the belly, because belly fabric goes on first, cut it to length, and PA-22s have this access hole here at the panel, so the fabric will wrap around here. So I just cut it roughly into shape, and I marked with a pencil line. I hope it's visible in the camera here. I marked the next cut to cut it to width here all the way. And also what I did yesterday was everywhere where there are sharp corners or edges, I put shaving tape on it. So that's all prepped, you can see here. So now it's time to actually cut the fabric here to the size and width. There's plenty of fabric for the bottom here. And then, since I'm using the Stewart system, after it's cut, I just put glue all the way where the fabric wraps around the longerons and everywhere. Let the glue settle, and then just rub the fabric in to make sure I got a good fit, but I will show that later. So let's get going on that. So I put on the glue, the whole glue line along the left side of the fuselage, and now it just has to dry, so it gets up to when you touch it, it's kind of tacky, and after that's done, then you just rub the fabric into it. So that's going to be the next step. So the glue has set a little bit, so it's just tacky now. So now you just lay the fabric into the tacky glue. rub it in with your hand, and just like this. And just to hold it in place. So now, all the way along the glue line, and you can start doing some cutouts. So now take a pencil and just mark exactly where you need to cut the fabric. And you wrap it around the tubes. So you mark the pencil line. You can just pull it out of the glue, just like this, and cut to the line. Rough them up. And remove the fabric where you exactly want it. And lay it in. Just like this. So I'm going to continue to do the whole fabric, and then I'll show how we finish the glue joint. I actually finished the left side already, and I just realized I didn't turn the camera. So I'm at the same step now on the right hand side. I brushed glue on the airframe, let it tag, and then wrap the fabric into the tacky glue, pencil marked and trimmed. So now to finish the glue joint, I go with the iron at 250 degrees and go over all the tubes to get the bond set, and then we put wet glue over top and wipe it off. So let's start doing that. Okay, I almost forgot to turn on my camera again. So what I'm doing now is, after I iron the fabric down into the glue, so now it's just a matter of brushing a layer of glue over the glue joint, and then using shop towels to just wipe off the excess glue. That will make a nice, strong glue joint, and also will look nice. So this is how we do it with the Stewart system. So we just brush it on, take a shop towel, paper towel, and wipe off the excess glue. So when you wipe this off, you also at the same time really push the glue into the fabric. So it bonds with the layer of glue that's underneath, I guess. So anyway, so that's the method how the Stewart system does it. So and here how it looks now close up. So you can see it's like wrapped around. This is the luggage door area here. I'm not concerned about these wrinkles here because there's going to be a finishing tape over it. But this is basically how it looks. And it's already quite tight. So I just have to do both ends and then I shrink the fabric. Well, welcome to another day of the restoration of this Piper Pacer fuselage. The belly fabric is all in. So, and yesterday before I left, I rolled out the envelope that I purchased, and there are mixed comments about if envelope is better versus blanket method. I've never covered a fuselage, and I decided doing the envelope because I thought it's a little bit easier with the transition here on the tail, because everything is pre-made. Because now the question is, which way do I start? And I think since I really want this transition here very nice and perfect, I think I'm gonna glue this in place first, and probably also then glue around the tail post here to get an anchor point, and then I just work my way forward and see how I get it all glued on and in place. So it will be an interesting process. I may also layer here on the top stringer, just brush on some glue and just tack the fabric to the top stringer, right where the center line, here the seam. So again, it gives me an anchor point, so when I pull left or right, I don't accidentally pull the fabric off center here. And then work it all the way forward, tack like that, and of course here's again, this is center seam here, has to be then perfectly lined up here over the crank. So I may just clamp that in place with clamps, or again just to tack it on a little bit with a little bit of the glue. So let's get started, and hopefully today at least I get the fabric on the fuselage before I can then start on all the tapes and finishing it, inspection holes in the tail, stuff like that. And another day has gone by. I was hoping to be much further than where I am, but it's the first time I'm covering a fuselage, and also first time I'm using an envelope. On the wings I've always used, and everything else that I covered, I've always just used the blanket method. So it was a little bit head scratching how to get this on and how to start. So all I really did is I just got from the handles here rearward, and from about here, just in front of where the transition is here, I got everything secured. I didn't glue anything on the leading edge of the vertical stabilizer, but the basically everything in the lower the longerons, the tail post, and all the way up here is all done. This side is done. I did double check everything this behind here, make sure that everything was fine. One more check. So enough already start working on thinking about where I put inspection holes. The big thing was I wanted to get this transition here correct. And at first I started out finding the best spot, sliding this forward and backwards an inch or two and see how I could everything done. And then I kept pulling the back here, try to get wrinkles out. But then after a while, and it was quite a while, I figured the best, for me, what worked the best was to get this set here, and I just put a little glue on the tubes and ironed the fabric onto the glue just to have it kind of tacked and so it wouldn't move on me all the time. And then actually find out the best way was to first glue right here where the handle is. So have this as much pulling down straight as possible, and then actually glue the whole bottom of the fabric first. Of course there's still some wrinkles here, but I'm 100% sure they will get out when I start shrinking. And after that was done, then I pulled it back and did the tail post. And again, there are wrinkles in it, of course, but they will come out easily. And after I finally figured it out and did the right side here, the left side went a little bit quicker. Again, I first did the lower longeron all the way along. Got this here half decent tension on here, and then pulled to the tail post. And again, this is will easily come out soon when I start doing the stretching on the fabric. So I got everything done. I just noticed I still have to maybe put a little bit glue here, but that's it. So I'm done for today. So I think I have another 2 days after getting just this done here. I think another 2 days. So tomorrow I just keep working my way forward, doing the lower longerons until I get luggage door and to the rear door here, and then the fun starts again, getting everything around the front of the airplane. But again, every day is progress, and I think another 2 days and I will have an airplane that looks like an airplane again. So see you tomorrow. So today I'm gonna keep working forward on the fuselage. But the first thing I'm checking out is inside of the envelope is this flap here. And what that is supposed to do is from the door posts back, so the rear door post of the front door and the front door post of the rear door, the fabric is supposed to be glued first like this here. So there's a step, and then the top fabric can then go flat down. I mean, it will show later when I do when I glue this. So first thing, I have to glue this flap on here so that I get this nice step here. So that needs to be done first. So I've started trimming this flap that is sewed inside here on the envelope. So I'm gonna do one section first here. So what has to happen is that the seam here has to line up with the inner edge of this square tube here, and then wrap it around, and the top fabric will actually stick to the outside of the tube. So after then the top fabric will come down and over, and then from here it can go straight down. So there is a nice step here. To continue the step here, this is from the front door, to let this step go all the way to the end of the rib. So a little bit tricky. We'll see how it's going to turn out. So the right hand side is done, and now it maybe shows better what I meant with the step. So this is a continuation of the on the door frame. You see here is also where the fabric is going to be glued around like this. But of course then there's a door, so it just glued like this. That's underneath here. And but here now there's a step going all the way to the back. So that's where the wing root fairing is going to sit. And inside it looks, I hope I can show this a little bit. It looks like this here. So I still have to trim a little bit. I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up. But so now the fabric is wrapped around and goes to this edge, and then it's glued here, and it's of course also glue underneath. So it was quite a tough glue joint, but now it's all done. Yesterday I glued the right hand side to get the fabric basically under this step. This flap here that is on the envelope has to get glued with this seam here at the back edge of this U-channel here, so that the fabric can wrap around and then come down so that the wing root fairings can lay against here. However, I mean, no matter how hard I pull, I cannot get this seam to get all the way around to get it to the back edge here. I did on the other side, of course, there was slack in the fabric because this is not glued. But now since the other side is glued, I can't do it. So I don't know why. It should be a fixed dimension from the inside edge of this U-channel to the other side. So I can only imagine that this flap here should have been sewed on a good inch further down on the fabric so that you can actually easily wrap it around and glue on here. And it doesn't matter, you're working with fabric, so even if there's a little slack on top, when you iron it, it will come out. So plan B is now, I'm gonna take out the stitches on this flap here to take it off, and then take this flap, glue it on the back side of this U-channel, probably wrap it around a little bit so it has a good grip. Then take the top fabric and glue it to the bottom here of this U-channel, and then make a glue joint, probably an inch and a half glue joint, gluing them both together. So, and then the top fabric to this piece here, so that then the fabric can run down to the top of the rear door. So I show it when it's all done. So first now let's take the stitches out. And I'm done with this area here where the wing root fairing is gonna sit. And here it shows the stitch line that was on this fabric on the envelope. So it was about almost an inch off here in the back. And like I said, this stitch line is sitting perfect on the other side, just in the inside of this U-channel. And here I was able to get the stitch line lined up, but from here on it was just running away from me. And I pulled and pulled like crazy, but I could not get the stitch line all the way down here. So I took the stitches out, glued a piece of fabric on the inside of the this U-channel, let that really cure. Took the top fabric, glued it to the underside of the channel here, and then made a fabric on fabric glue joint here with this two pieces of fabric. And now you see it's all cured and that will not come off. So I have my line here where the wing root fairings can sit. So now it's time to get the fabric into the window channel, the rear right window here. And to do that, I have made this plates here. They're 1/8 inch thick, and I put wax paper on it. And now we're gonna put glue into the channel here, and then push the fabric in with this plate here, and let it sit overnight. And then hopefully, because of the wax paper, I can pull this out tomorrow, and the fabric will be nice and secured, glued to the inside of the channel. So let's see how it goes. So you really want that the glue goes all the way in there. So you have a good amount of glue in there. Okay, this probably should be good. And now just lay the fabric flat against the outside of the channel here. Take this plate here and just start working it in. Okay, so that should work. So here's number one. Okay, and let it sit until tomorrow. So I have 3 of them in. I just put glue here on the bottom. And here's my last piece. So again, just lay this up nicely here. So for the fabric, go in there. And okay, seems to be in. And I just make sure everything is nice and tight. Give it a little bit some encouragement with the hammer. And there we go. So you can see, let it sit until tomorrow, and hopefully I can pull that right out, and I have my window channel glued. So these are time to cure overnight. So let's see if we can pull them out. Okay, that came out easy. Here's this one. Okay. Looks really nice. There's a little piece of paper left, but okay, so let's see how this one comes out here. Let's try this one first. Okay, there it is. And all the paper, no, just a little bit is here. Okay, but it looks really good in the channel. And now the last one. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, also all the paper came out. So it's really good. So here's the close-up now, how it looks. So really nicely glued inside of the channel. So look up here. So looks good. And I glued the fabric on the top windshield, where it has to go into the channel, and then comes, so it goes in here, loops around, comes back out underneath. Again, I made this 1/8 inch spacer and with wax paper. And now let's let it cure. and tomorrow I take it out. So should be as good as the window channels. Well, this is going to be the end of video number 8. So I'm going to step back a little bit. So the fabric is on. Big milestone when you recover an airplane. So I did the shrinking at 250, then 300, then 350 degree Fahrenheit. Everything turned out really nice. What I do is I just finished with the 350 degrees shrink and then let it sit overnight, and I do one more shrink again at 350 tomorrow, just as the fabric maybe has settled a little bit. So I just do one more shrink, because after this it's pretty much done as far as shrinking and putting fabric on. I'm happy, really happy how it turned out. Again, with the envelope was a little more tricky than I thought, but it's looking good. So also, I don't know if you can see the top here, everything looks pretty good. So next, in the next video, it's going to be video number 9, it's going to be putting all the tapes on, and putting finishing tapes on is still a lot of work. So that will take days again, just to put finishing tapes on. But anyway, I'm making progress. So see you in the next video.